Today I'm getting the last of the main things I needed planted. This is a sugar baby watermelon, and my hope is that it'll grow around the outside of my garden beds, so maybe I won't have to weed eat around it. I'm also planting tomatillas at the corners. And now I know I said I would never plant them again, but you have to at least say that 6 times before it counts. So this bed right here is kind of a miscellaneous bed. I have bush beans, volunteer tomatoes, yellow pear tomatoes I planted in here, collards, tomatillas, watermelons, kind of whatever I have. I have nowhere else to plant it. It kind of goes into this bed. One thing I really don't like about these cages is all the spiders that make homes in the middle. Tomatillas are also one of those plants where you need at least 2 for it to cross pollinate. One of my favorite things to do is plant trellises. I think it's really pretty when everything is just hanging down off the trellis. But unfortunately last year, like my middle trellises never really got full. But I'm hoping to do a better job this year. So I put a bunch of compost at the base of all these trellises, like a good thick amount. These right here are honeydews. They did not do good last year. But already they look so much better than they did last year. The main thing I'm trying to do is get all this compost worked into the soil. In case anyone was wondering, this is Plan C. Out of all the cucumber seeds I planted in this bed, this is the only survivor. And that's why you have plan B and C. The main issues I had last year with getting my things to grow was they kept getting ate. And by the time they finally made it through, it was a little late. This right here is my winter squash. And this bed right here was kind of my accidental Three Sisters garden. I have my winter squash that's going to grow on this trellis. I have my corn in this bed, and I have rattlesnake pole beans planted on the trellis on both sides of it. And all these cups are tomatoes, extra tomatoes that I don't have room to plant. And these right here are more sugar baby watermelons. So last year in this kiddie pool, my son planted some straight neck squash and noodle beans. And it did really good. So this year I figured I would try watermelons. These right here are the tender sweet. They're orange. I've never grown those before, so this is a new one. And this one over here is a sweet crimson. And this right here is a yellow crimson, and I've never grown it either. So these right here are ground cherries. They're a lot similar to tomatillas, but they're smaller and they're really sweet. I like to tuck these in corners of my garden as a snack. I planted these last year with my tomatillas, and they completely took those over. And I wish it would have been the other way around. I may have let these get a little too out of control. These right here are called Cucumelons, or also known as gherkin melons and mouse melons. I'm going to try to weave these like through this fence. So these cucumelons will completely take over this fence line. We didn't get that many from them last year because by the time I really got them established, it got cold because roly-polies really love cucumelons and cucumbers and sunflowers and really anything that's little. I really should have done better with these. But cucumelons take a really long time for them to get established. So I started those when I started all my tomatoes and peppers in the end of February, beginning of March. And they're really little now, but they will take off. So I did manage to get all of my tomato plants planted. I didn't record the second day because I figured one day was enough. Also, the other tomatoes I planted were a lot healthier than the ones I previously planted. I also planted altogether 74 tomato plants. And I have 5 that are volunteer that came up on their own. You know.
Wow, I've heard it. Owls I've heard of. Who are you? Who?